I remembered. Let me know we're rolling so I can do a little recap.
Uh, we are rolling now. We're waiting for M to load in. Taylor's already here. Hello, everyone. What's up? Welcome back to Stardew Valley. We're the Peepolorians. I'm Lujack.
I'm Taylor.
Man.
Oh, and the Queen of Sauce is telling you how to make pizza on the TV.
Oh, neat. Also, our last episode has become lost footage because there was no audio on it. So if it feels like there's an episode missing, that's
So to
because
catch
there
you
is.
up, we'll do this recreation with puppets.
We'll do this recreation with puppets.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Oh, and Lee Jack was talking about was it Across the Spider-Verse?
yeah, so here's how my
Across the
day went.
No,
Yes.
hold on. And I
Sorry.
was saying I would like to see that, and
Yeah.
I was also saying, dang it, I don't remember.
What were you saying?
Oh, that I remembered. Okay. Oh, I got some in my nose. You say something. I gotta sneeze.
Hold on, we got a letter. Come by the shop and check out the new rods I'm selling. They're the best money can buy, and you can customize them with the different kinds of tackle. Hope to see you soon, Willie. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
The other night I got myself a giggle because I was thinking of one of my favorite like streaming moments of all time, but it was it was when you were streaming was it Titanfall, I think.
Yeah.
It was Titanfall 2.
Which was really fun.
And the whole like thing where like time is stopped because of the shenanigans.
Oh, fucking love that
It's a very
level.
good game. You should watch it and then you can play it.
Yeah, watch our stream and then play the game.
But like, there's like the time like bomb. So like the time is stopped and you're like jumping over like a bunch of debris in an explosion to get to the center of it because of course you are.
Right.
And I just start doing the Jim Croce time in a bottle and Lujack's like, wait, no. Taylor, you can't sing. We're gonna get copyright struck. and then I stopped for a moment, and I was just like, "No, are you reenacting the Quicksilver time in a bottle scene?" This is me with a bunch of stuff like tied to like fish wire, like or was it fishing line, like attached to the ceiling? No.
Yeah, no. Why would I be doing that? Is there a cat outside?
It feels like a vine that already would exist.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, so here's how my day went yesterday. I got home, went on YouTube, and found a YouTube thumbnail that was just like, Spider-Punkin' across the multiverse. And I was like, what the fuck? Or across the Spider-Verse. And I was like, what the fuck is across the Spider-Verse? How come I didn't know this was out? And then I went and used totally legal and legitimate means to watch it because I wouldn't be impatient enough to do it any other way.
At the Blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, very good. Go watch it. Spider-Punk is the best, and I love him.
And I mean, neat. I like fan theories. I need to see the movie.
Yeah, it's good shit. Highly recommend.
There's some movies that I know happened, and then like, but like I feel like they should have been like advertised more. But that's coming from me, who I don't see a lot of ads, so basically it's got to be really out there. But like, but then there are things that I know existed, but like my brain just keeps going, nah, that's not real. Where it's like, hey, you know, there's a Matrix sequel. There was a fourth Matrix movie. I'm like, no, there wasn't.
I feel like
it was real. It starred Keanu Reeves. Like, it was. It cost a lot of money to film. Like, it's real. And I'm like, nah, it just doesn't feel like that would need to exist.
You know, it's funny because like as much as I actually enjoyed the Obi-Wan show, looking back on it, I also feel like Obi-Wan would definitely fall into that category of like, oh, what if they made like an Obi-Wan show? They did. Wait, what? When? Like a while ago. It was not a lot of people watched
about,
it.
Like old Obi-Wan, not like Obi-Wan when he was hanging out with Anakin doing like shenanigans.
I will say an old Obi-Wan show would be cool. I really liked seeing old Obi-Wan fight Maul. Like, his confrontation with Maul and Rebels was, like, pretty amazing. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but I was
Obi-Wan
expecting that
meeting
whole thing.
Maul, like, how many times would we teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the whole scene for y'all, but I will say that it was way shorter than I thought it would be, and my first reaction was, that wasn't a lot of stuff, and then immediately I was like, you know, it didn't need to be. They got to the point. They got their point across. They did their scene. It was wrapped up. It didn't need to be longer than it was. It was a really good scene. Obi-Wan and Maul.
My what was it? Not my prediction, but my hope for the Ahsoka show is that they can use enough CG for Ahsoka to still feel like to not feel like she's limited by limited by the mortal flesh of regular actors.
Right.
Because like it's definitely gonna feel weird for a character who we've exclusively seen animated, then like moving around as a human, and
Got some algae.
it's gonna be weird because I swear I'm just calling it now. There's gonna be a moment where like she falls off like, I don't know, a second story like fall or something. It's like oof, and everyone, the whole fandom's gonna be like, ma'am, you've survived like 5-story falls throughout the Clone Wars. Like you literally dramatically left the Jedi Order by jumping like into a pit and onto like a moving like vehicle. That was like a 6-story fall.
Man, the Ronin is really cool, and I know that he doesn't exist in the canonical universe, and if he did, it definitely wouldn't be in, like, Ahsoka's time period. It would be, like, during the High Republic era. And he would be dead by the time she came around, but watching the Ronin pull out his red lightsaber and go, I am not a Jedi, when confronting the, weird Inquisitor character. Not an Inquisitor. I don't know what she was. Was she Inquisitor? I don't know. Some Sith lady. And when he said that, I really wanted a moment. I want a character like this to exist in the main canon so that he can team up with Ahsoka, because Ahsoka's also not a Jedi. And it would be really funny if some ally of hers whipped out a red lightsaber and said a line like that and was just like, alright, fine. Me neither. You have a red lightsaber, that's cool, I'm not gonna question it.
Oh man.
Because I feel like
That
Ahsoka
would
would
be-
not question that. If someone pulled out a red lightsaber but was helping her, she'd probably be like, ah, you got your story, I'm sure. I'm not gonna pry.
Like, it makes sense. Also, why doesn't Willie buy things after hours? Like, he's on the docks.
Yeah, I realized that when I went down there. He was like, no, I'm fishing now. My
Why
work time's
my
done.
fish?
You gotta let him have that good
It's you-
work-life balance.
Yeah, you know, Iroh's got
But
his
that's the irony
tea.
of it is that he's like, no, I don't want to buy your fish right now. I'm focused on being out here, relaxing. How are you relaxing? Fishing.
Fishing. Iroh has his tea, and Wooly has his fishing.
Delicious tea or
I'm gonna-
deadly poison?
Or deadly poison. I'm gonna eat this seaweed.
Bobby, keep it down.
Blah, that was terrible. Oh wait, that gave me 13 energy, what the fuck? Alright, cool.
Terrible.
I found the fish bubbles down at the docks. It's been a productive fishing day.
Do we have apricots?
Didn't we we had some, but we ran out. Do we have an apricot tree though?
That's a very good question.
We have some kind of tree. What kind of
Hold
tree do
on.
we have? I don't remember.
Bobby! You're a little loud!
Apple!
I don't know, I would assume that I need some kind of chitinous shell.
All the power in the house goes off and your phone shuts off. When we call her back, the line goes straight to voicemail.
I would assume that they were possessed by the powers of Ibira. The lobster kaiju, and least impressive of kaiju. Which is a thing I only know about because I watched like a 45-minute long video that was like all the kaiju, all the Godzilla kaiju ranked.
Where do we keep oak resin? Because I just picked up oak resin.
I think our like plants and nature stuff, as opposed to the mining stuff.
Where the fuck is the plants and nature stuff? Oh, is that one of the 3
Doing
chests?
some good catches in this bubble area. I had this like really wild thought the other day that like there's a lot of skill involved with like any like competitive like esport, but I was thinking like there's a bit of randomness when it comes to what's it called, like the drops in like Apex Legends and games like that.
Yeah.
And I had this moment where I was like, what if you made a game that is actually like completely random, but it had like a thriving like esport scene where the people who were like the champions were just statistically they had just won a lot,
Right.
and it was actually random.
Man, I was watching like a 5-hour video about the Evil Dead franchise, and
Ooh.
watching Ash with like
How do you have a 5-hour video? Isn't there like?
Do you
like
know
2
how much
movies
Evil
and a
Dead
series?
content there is?
I thought there was. Oh, I guess there's more than I realized because I thought there was only like 2 movies and the
Well,
TV
there's
show.
2 movies, a TV show, and then there's the remake, and then there's the new movie that I think came out recently, which I don't think has Ash in it, but I don't know
Oh,
if
dang it, I
it's a
was here too
sequel
late.
to the reboot or if they're connected. I don't know anything about that. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Who's
What the
not
heck? Why is
invented?
Yo, that was spooky. What's his name? Who lives at the beach is returning to his house at like 12:30.
Oh,
Sorry, I
weird.
spent too much time fishing.
Weird. But watching Ash load up a shotgun with his chainsaw arm, I'm looking at him and I'm like, you look
Some kind of
like you
Apex
belong in
Legends.
like some kind of arena shooter, like some kind of Overwatch or what's Valorant or some kind of Apex Legends character. You're definitely like some kind of super soldier action hero guy that would be in a multiplayer game. Like, I could see you standing next to Torbjorn in Overwatch comparing your weird limb attachments. I got a
No
chainsaw.
joke,
I got a fucking lava arm!
Before
Okay,
I
that's
played-
metal. Jesus.
Before I played Overwatch, I only knew about it from memes and like secondary, like sort of like third-hand culture. So I didn't know what characters were in Overwatch, and I didn't. I assumed that it was a group of just like 6 women, because those are the only characters people would talk about.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh right. And then what's funny is that even after playing the game, every once in a while I'm like, oh right, Torbjorn's in this game.
Oh yeah, Torbjorn
Just
exists.
like no one was playing Torbjorn.
Look, Torbjorn has a medal.
He's just a fantasy dwarf
Torbjorn.
in the setting.
Torbjorn has a fucking lava arm, and that is the most metal fucking thing that I've seen anyone have.
There's a lot of things I don't know if I would describe. Ooh, yo, we got like a bunch of flowers around the
Ooh.
beehive. You gotta see this.
It's also
I'm not
raining.
gonna touch it. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Oh no, that's Lady, but you can see it.
I could,
Go
but I'm
Jack.
watching TV right
Get
now.
out of your house.
I'm watching TV.
Hypothetically, this honey should be tulip honey. Let's see.
Yo, it's a
That's-
geodate. Spirits
Damn it.
are in good mood.
Ooh.
What am I looking at,
Spirits
Taylor?
good.
Ooh, it is. It is tulip honey. I made tulip honey.
Yeah, that's really neat. Did you plant tulips there, or does it like replace those crops with tulips?
I planted them there because I knew.
Ah.
I've used the rounded
cool.
beehive.
We planted
with
so
flowers.
much
You
cauliflower.
just have those flowers.
Blue Jack, you interrupted. I didn't
Sorry.
hear her full sentence.
Sorry about that.
If you
What were you
plant
saying?
flowers around a beehive, you'll get honey that's flavored those flowers.
That's
Like
cool.
That's pretty
dandelion
neat.
honey or tulip honey.
Hello, kitty cat.
Oh, and can we... Oh, okay, yeah, let's pickle a potato. Do we need any potatoes for any of the, like, crafting thingies?
I need a potato to bake and to eat. I actually made a baked potato today. It was really good.
Am I lagging out because I can't open this chest? No? I can walk around it? All the other pieces are working?
That's a
I'm
special
just-
type of Stardew lag where you just can't interact.
It's like when we were playing
It was
Raft
just
that
me,
one time.
I just got booted. If you look at it probably shows up in the little chat log.
It's like when we were playing Raft that one time, and it was just like, no, you cannot interact with this chest anymore. You are stuck in the menu forever now.
Oh, okay. then.
Looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo. Oh man. Ooh, that's on our short list of funny people that we could have on a stream
Oh,
inexplicably.
yeah, the voice
voice of
actor
Hugh
for Hugh
Neutron.
Neutron. Absolutely. I would definitely bring him on as a guest. That'd be amazing.
Do you ever wonder if there's a YouTuber out there that's like that got huge and one of their parents like really wants to also be a YouTuber, but they haven't got the guts to be like, hey, could you like introduce me? I got my own channel. And they're like, Mom, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. It's like, yeah, I play this game.
I play a lot of Fortnite.
I play Fortnite. I'm not very good at it, but
I die constantly. That's me in Apex
turns out
Legends.
I feel like, can you imagine if like, no, just imagining like, do you think there would be a shift in like online game culture if it had really good matchmaking? So people were never like, oh man, I logged onto Fortnite and just like destroyed all of these noobs. Like 90 of them were noobs or whatever. Like instead, it's like, oh, I went and I fought and I lost at like what is it? I was like the 10th person to die, but I felt like they did it really well.
Right? It's like, of course you annihilated all of these noobs. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. That doesn't make you a good player.
There was that game. There was a game that was a battle royale where you like smash boxes to get like power ups and you like do wrestling moves on each other, but I can't remember what it was called. I'm sure someone, one of y'all know what it's called.
I don't.
Hopefully. I don't.
Dang it, that's gonna drive me nuts. I played a little bit of it, and it was neat. I would describe it as neat. Also, I'm gonna sell we have 26 extra stone. We have like the 999 stack. So I was gonna sell the extra stone and the extra wood.
9.
if that's
9?
okay.
I guess.
And sell a potato.
No, Jesus, this is a dank fish.
What? Sir?
Well, they're hopping around all over the bar and I can't fucking catch them.
Did you
Oh,
say
dank fish.
That's what I
dang
said.
or dank?
That's
I was like,
that's what I
wait,
said.
what-
It's a dank fish. He's a dank fish that's hopping around all over the bar.
As opposed to like a, I don't know, a dry and crispy fish.
Well, no, a dank fish is just a fish that's difficult to catch. That's what makes
Bobby
them dank.
like
I feel like they
Bobby realized that we had like
Yeah,
a Mandela effect
it's
going
like
on.
it's like when you have dank weed. It's like you got dank weed, that means the weed's good. Dank fish, the fish is good. The fish is happy. The fish is happy. Hops across the bar, makes it difficult to catch.
Oh, all right.
Because the fish is
I
dank.
like I remember learning in Minecraft, not in the game, because the game, despite having some
I just
very
made
good
that up, by the way.
fundamentals- Yeah. The game has good fundamentals, but like even in the year of our Lord 2023, Minecraft still doesn't have like a fully built-in tutorial, like, which is wild because I'm like, guys, this is a game that like has existed for like over a decade and is like being managed by Microsoft. Like, how do you not have a game that's finished? But sorry, that was a little sideways. I remember learning that in the early days that when it rains in Minecraft, fish are more active, and I was like, oh, that makes sense because when it rains, then there's lots of like bugs out, and when there's bugs out, then the fish try to eat the bugs. Like, sure, that makes sense. That's cool.
Sun's out with
And
the
so
bugs
like
out.
I would get kind of like compulsive about it, where it's like, oh, whenever it rains, I go and fish, and I get like a zillion fish,
So many fish.
and I live off of those fish.
Live off of the fish.
Oh, I don't think I mentioned this in the last few streams, but like, here's an update. Not today or yesterday, but like the last like few weeks and stuff. I had been watching The Orville, and originally I thought it was going to be like a parody of Star Trek, mainly because what's his name? His name is on it.
Seth MacFarlane?
Yeah,
The
because
Ted
you
guy,
see
the
name
drunk
Seth
teddy bear
MacFarlane
guy.
and you just assume that it was going to be like a goof, but no, I had heard legends
Sorry.
that it was actually good, and it actually is. And my favorite way of describing the Orville is Seth MacFarlane's apology letter for his earlier career.
Yeah, his movies didn't do well from what I'm aware. I liked the Ted movies. I think...
No, but as in like it's like, hey, you know how I did like all those like fat jokes and sexist jokes and gay jokes and stuff? Well, I'm
yeah.
going to make a show that's like a spiritual successor to Star Trek that like actually is like pretty classy for the most part.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually like is what's the word? It's decent. It's pretty good.
I don't know how well most of his movies are received, but I know that I liked the Ted movies, and I think I saw A Million Ways to Die on the list, and I think some
I've
of
never
it was
seen
funny.
the Ted movies, and I feel like I should. As I feel like I'm the only one who says this because it's so bizarre. It's does anyone else? There's got to be someone else who says this, but it's like, oh, I need to see this movie. Not that it's like mind blowing, but because if it is both like good, but also it feels like it should be culturally important. Like, oh, this is like a movie that I missed when I was growing up.
Right.
Like I should have seen the Ted movie when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh, shit. I did not pull up the Twitch stream chat. Hold on. Need to do that now.
All right.
That's
well,
kind of-
I've had it up.
Oh, well, that's good. Good,
We
good.
haven't had any comments.
Good looking out.
And I went back to Stardew just in time to catch a fish. Amazing timing.
Best kind of timing. But that's kind of where I'm at with Evil Dead right now. Evil Dead is a franchise that I'm like starting, that I've always had like kind of a slight interest in. And
All right.
I'd
like to deep dive that with you because that's something I don't know much about, but I think it'd be fun. Oh, send me the video.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch it at like 1.5 speed, and then we'll finish it at the same time.
Did you ever finish the BoJack video?
I got like halfway through, and then I realized that it was one that I had seen like a few years back, and I was like, oh, it's all coming back to me. I remember it.
Yeah, there's a really funny part in that video where like they get to the episode where BoJack has to do like a nude, a naked shoot, and one of the guys is like, "All right, now we got to talk about BoJack's giant horse cock," and he's like, "What? What? Well, dude, he's a horse. Do you know how big horse cocks are?" And he's just like, "Dude, you know that if this video gets demonetized, that affects your pay too, right?" And he's just like, "Well, you'll appeal the claim."
You'll appeal the claim. I wonder if we're gonna live into an era where we have like a biopic style movie that's about like someone who appealed a claim on YouTube and established a precedent for like making satire online. Because like I feel like there's potential for that to be like a dramatized like event.
A whole bio.
And the main reason we don't have that is because currently, if you wrote a story about that, it would mainly be like, hey, they appealed, and YouTube was like, in our infinite wisdom, we said, maybe this time. But like, as far as I know, every time there's been like a court case, YouTube, which I believe is owned by Google, is like, hey, we have big Google lawyers, so what if we just settle this? And they're like, all right, and then there's zero precedent, which means it just ends up screwing over the next person.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lawyer out there that's willing to work not like pro bono, but like, they could be like society's hero if they could establish that like specific, well-defined rules on like having media portrayed on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because like YouTube's like, oh well, we can't monitor all the media that we have on our website, and it's like that sounds like it's your fault. Like specifically, you are hosting the site. If you can't afford to like monitor it in any way, then like it's kind of your fault one way or another.
Right.
That does remind me I don't know if it was ever re-implemented, but there was what was it called? According to legend, on Twitter, there's the series of like algorithms and such run on microservices, and that when Elon Musk himself was like, "Hey, we have too many microservices. I'm just going to turn these off." That included the one that like scans for copyright infringement, and people figured that out, and then just would be like posted like entire movies in 30-minute chunks, but like compressed onto Twitter. So it'd be like 5 Twitter posts in a row that's like, hey, here's the movie scanners or whatever. It's like a random movie from like 1996 in its entirety on Twitter.
As you do.
Oh, hold on, I need to sell my fish.
Ooh.
Gotta sell my fish.
You can't
to
sell
level
your
up.
fish. The store's closed.
No, I mean in the box, because if I put it in the box before I go to bed, then it's sold in the box.
What's the
Yeah, it's
difference
like
between?
Amazon selling.
What's the difference between selling it to the box and just selling it to Willy? Like, do you get more from Willy?
I don't know if you get more, but I do know that the box is more convenient, but selling it to a merchant means you have it that day. So there's sort of situations
It's
where
my
selling it
money
directly
and I
is
need
useful.
it now.
What'd you say?
It's my money and I need it now.
It's my money and I need it now.
I always assumed a structured settlement was one that had like a Mott and Bailey.
The fuck's a Mott and Bailey?
No, nothing.
No.
Our heads.
I get it. The heck is a Mott and Bailey and silence from Lady. That's a good pun. Come on.
Nope.
A structured settlement.
It sounds like an alcohol thing, which is definitely not a thing I would know anything about.
Dude, I would love to make a cocktail called the Mott and Bailey.
It sounds like one of those drinks that you would be like ordering in Catherine, and then you just get like, I know this is sudden, but let me tell you about how this is made.
I love that specifically.
It's
as
a very
meme,
good gag. I love that.
because it's both like it's fun gag, but it's also like I genuinely appreciate when someone was a big nerd about something and put it in the game.
Yeah, it's like your cool friend who's not like in your face with all what they know about, but they like know about stuff passionately, and they're just like, yeah, there's a whole history about how to do a proper pour on this thing, and it's or whatever. It's like that's neat. I like that you just hit me with cool facts.
I don't drink wine, but I do pride myself on knowing how to open and serve wine. Just because I think that's a fun skill.
Right. Not a wine person. I could never.
Do you ever wonder? Oh, dude, there's a thought. You know how some YouTubers had drunk streams, and then I'm pretty sure they stopped. Like, I don't know if they stopped because like the YouTubers like we probably shouldn't do this, or if YouTube itself was like, hey, you can't do that. Because I've seen.
I feel like you don't see a lot of those now.
My guess is that they probably got like a sternly worded letter from YouTube that was like, "Hey, you're gonna negatively influence people by having drunk streams," and they were like, "Yeah, you're probably right."
Probably.
But like, I was thinking about that, and it's like I couldn't have a drunk stream because I shouldn't get drunk. I don't know my precise what my precise reaction to alcohol will be, But considering how picky of an eater I am, and that I don't really like alcohol in general, pretty sure I have a family, what's the word? Like a family history of alcoholism, which means that I could very easily like have to deal with that as like a brain itch if I had it. But
Right.
it had me like reeling because I was like, what if there's a drunk stream, but with like 4 people, but one of them isn't drunk, and you have to figure out which one it is.
Which one?
Like they're either
weird.
like acting or they're not drunk, they're high. Because now like we live in an era where you can be legally high.
Yeah, that's true. That'd be.
So it's like in a room of 4 streamers, 3 of them are drunk and 1 of them is high as balls.
Can you
Have to
guess
determine
who?
which one is which?
Guess the stoner.
Yeah, but it would be a fun challenge, but not with me because they would all know that I'm the one that's high.
Yeah.
Unless I was the guy in the chair who's just like monitoring the chat because I'm the only like able-bodied person.
Right.
I would definitely not want to do a drunk stream and be high and trying to monitor a chat. Like because I figure if we were popular enough to do that, and I don't want to be at the wheel.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
I didn't know that operating heavy machinery meant cars. I thought that meant like specifically like certain kinds of machines.
Right. Do I have an albacore? I have a bream and a shad and a catfish. Albacore?
I figure someone's gonna bring that up as like a legal precedent, so let me just add an addendum that if I was on a medication that was like don't operate heavy machinery, I also wouldn't be driving. Like even if I assumed it didn't mean cars.
Yeah.
I'm kind of picky about when I'm driving. I don't even like driving if I'm drowsy, because turns out that's also pretty dangerous.
yeah, it is. Don't
Wait, can we make
do that.
Yeah.
Pops.
You might wreck
couple
your
apples?
car.
Yeah, you might crash. You might
You have
fall
a
asleep
lot
at the
of
wheel
cherry.
and rear end someone.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, it turns
do
out
good.
driving drowsy is about as bad as driving drunk. There's a similar, what's the word? A similar brain chemistry as far as your like response time and such. I remember learning from my older brother when he was like studying to take a driving test. It's like, hey, if you're driving drowsy, what's the safest thing to do? And it's like, pull off to the side of the road, take a nap. Just take a nap in your car off, like when you're not on the road.
Just lie
I'm
in
like,
the field and take a nap.
You lie in a field, take a nap in a field.
You should just eat some hay.
Eat some hay, make you big, make you strong. Yeah, and I thought that was so fascinating, and that like, well, you're not wrong. Like, if your car is parked somewhere safe and out of traffic, you could
Right.
take a nap in your
Right.
car.
What were you, Em? Were you saying something?
I said the point is just get off the road.
Yeah, just get off the road. Get off the road, eat some hay, and lie on the grass and take a nap.
Can you imagine? This has got to be a rare situation, but there's got to be someone out there who is a designated driver, but not for like an influence, but because like someone was like, "Hey, I'm working like really late. Can you pick me up? Like, 'cause I'll be tired."
Right. Too tired to drive.
And we got like so many jellies, but I'm not gonna sell them because isn't there? If I recall correctly, the leveling system works like per day, and it works on whatever your main like hobby was that day, which is why I'm like, oh, okay, I've been doing a lot of fishing, so I should probably stick to fishing until I level up.
I just find that fishing is weirdly enjoyable in this game, and I don't know why.
It's a good system. I think it's a solid mini game. I would say it's up there with Red Dead Redemption 2 had a good fishing mini game.
You, sir, are a fish.
Sir, our fit. I've said this like a zillion times, but I have to say it for anyone who's here and like this is their first episode for some reason. Like, I love how the fish in Red Dead Redemption 2 are like loaded in real time. Like they're what's it called? They're like collision boxes and stuff are actually there. So if you see a fish, you can like use Deadeye to look through the water and see like their outline, like Predator, and then just shoot through the water at the fish,
As you
and you
do.
get a fish.
You, sir, are a fish. Fishing's
Oh.
not usually something that I care about most of the time in video games, but it's alright in this one. This is
I
pretty
feel
okay.
like the trick is. I feel like the trick to a good fishing game is making. The mini game has to be solid and snappy and feel very like what's the word? It has to be intuitive and have a little bit of a twist to it. Where, for like in this one, it's like you're moving the bar up and down, and that requires a bit of precision, and it doesn't really get old very quickly.
Yeah, you know, sometimes
Plus,
you gotta
fishing-
catch a frog, and the stupid frog just won't bite on the damn hook, and you're like, Froggy, what's your problem? Why don't you just bite the fucking hook, you asshole?
Just imagine Big the cat
Just
cursing.
Pig the cat cursing. God damn it, Froggy,
Uh.
what the actual fuck? What is with you? You fucking... Why do you keep running away from it? Why do you have a tail? You're not supposed to have a tail, it's not normal. What the fuck is up with that?
See, here's the thing. When I was introduced to Big the cat, I don't think there were other cats in the setting, so I assumed that he was called Big the cat, but they didn't know that all cats were like that. Ma'am? Hello? Leah just walked up right behind me. That was weird.
Who did?
Oh, apparently she normally just walks by that part of the lake. Okay.
Oh, alright, cool. As you do, I guess. One of the characters, I think
Now,
it's
like-
Elliot, is just kind of Blair Witching on the bridge over there.
I like how we've established that as a verb.
Yeah!
I hope that becomes a cultural thing where like that's the like universal term for someone being kind of creepy and like standing somewhere that like goes against what your primal instincts would be.
Like, if we have any amount of small influence in culture media
The
at
amount of
all,
like cultural cast.
let it-
is
let
what
it-
I want
let
to
it-
show.
yeah, let it be Blair Witching as a verb. Like,
Blair Witching as a verb.
if we get the smallest kind of legacy, let it be that.
Oh, back to fan theories. That reminds me. Did I ever show you the Blair Witch theory that they were trying to, like, two of the friends are trying to disappear the other friend?
No, but that is something that I came up on, like, organically through YouTube, and
So you
came
have
to be
you
aware
seen
of.
it?
I am aware of the theory. I'm aware of the
Like,
theory that
so,
exists.
it's so big brain.
It's
like,
it is.
Oh, and as a side note, did you know that during the filming of Blair Witch, like, so like they did use like low-tech cameras. They were actually in a woodland area, like practical effects. It was actually nighttime, yada yada. But apparently they did a little bit of method acting by when the three actors are filming. They also had like extras who were just out in the forest, like being creepy. So just to keep the actors on their toes. And I'm
Well-
like, I gotta wonder, like, I wanna see the acting parameters on that role. Like, you
What
are
was-
you are a forest spoopyman. Your job, as it specifically entails, is to stay right outside the sight line of the actors and occasionally make spooky noises. Make
So-
sure that you are not. There's not too many of you in the same area though, because too many spooky noises, you'll be trying too hard.
So Jimmy, what was your first big break in Hollywood? Oh, I got hired to be a creepy extra in like Blair Witch to just sort of hang out without the actual actors knowing I existed. And that's just kind of what I did for my job. I was
Like,
hired to
oh,
stalk
man,
people during movie filming.
That's one of those. That's on my list of like things that I would love to get an interview with. Is just like same thing with anytime that there's like practical effects and someone has to fiddle with it a lot. where it's like, oh, I was one of like the puppeteers to like this big like contraption.
Right. I kind of want to. If I ever had the opportunity, I would want to try to get into voice acting, but I don't think I would voice act for animes. Because people have to make a lot of weird noises in anime sometimes, and I don't think I could do that.
I mentioned this where it's like oh, I have the heart for medicine but not the stomach, and
Yeah.
with acting it's like my biggest worry is that if I became an actor I'd have to be like specific types of like supporting roles, because if I was in any big scenes I'd have to get really good at not getting a case of the giggles. Because you have to imagine that like
I would just be like weirdly OCD about things. Like I cannot be in any scenes that require me to get slimed in any way because I just
you can't work
like
for Nickelodeon.
I cannot work for Nickelodeon because like just sensory speaking, I can't handle it. Like it would freak me out if I had to just deal with that. Also, I don't think I'd be doing romantic scenes with anyone. That's kind of why, if I were to try to get into any kind of acting, I would prefer to try voice acting. Because I don't... Like, I could voice an animated character who's getting covered in gross shit, but I could not be getting
Yeah, 'cause
covered
you don't
in
have to-
fake gross shit myself. You know what I mean?
That's like, what's his name? Alfred Molina, when he was reprising his role as Doc Ock, where they're like, he's like, oh, I'd like to play the role, but like, I'm not as fit as I was back then. I mean, I'd have to do a lot of moving around, and then he's like, oh, wait a minute, it's all like CGI nowadays. All right, I'll do it.
Yeah, I have so much respect for people who go through that though. Like every time someone in The Boys, every time a group of people in The Boys TV show gets covered in gross shit, I'm just like, good for you, I couldn't do it. You're doing a thing I could never do. Like,
when I was a kid, I remember there were so many.
That they know what it is.
What's that,
I mean, yeah, the extras probably.
Like they probably know what it is.
Unless it's like a method acting thing, it's like, oh, we don't tell you what the slime is made of.
Yeah, it's weird. Slimy,
Not method acting if someone like inflicts it on you.
Yeah, we got it from the Nickelodeon guys. They colored it up to make it look like giant fish guts or whatever.
Blue Jack, look at what we sold today. Blue Jack, look at what we sold today.
A single flower.
You like jazz?
One single flower. You like jazz?
Wow, that's a decent price for a single flower.
A delicate flower from Hollow Knight.
I had this realization. Do you ever wonder if one of like a celebrity's like stunt doubles was like walking off set and like the paparazzi thought that they were the real guy, and then they like started running and the paparazzi ran after them and they ended up just accidentally being a decoy?
It wasn't intentional, but it just kind of worked out that way.
That sounds
Yeah, because the other day I saw it was who was it?
That sounds like the
I
kind
think
of comedic intro you would get to like an episode of Lucifer or something.
It's the intro to a story, like a TV show about like, I don't know, a stunt double who solves crimes.
Yeah.
It'd be called like Flip or something.
Flip, Flappy.
No, but like, because the other day I saw it was a picture of like 3 of Tom Cruise's stunt doubles like hanging out, and they look a lot like him. I mean, which
I
like,
saw that picture too. I was like, hold
Yeah,
up, which
and-
one's the real one?
now here's
wait,
the thing:
none of
some
them?
stunt doubles are only like about the same height and about the same build and like skin color, and that's about it, because like they're either moving very fast or they have a lot of hair around their heads.
You captured their stunt doubles!
Yeah, you fools! But like, I was thinking about that. It's like there has to be a moment where a stunt double with like big sunglasses and the big hat and like, I don't know, a scarf or whatever, like runs out of a building and the paparazzi's like, wait, is that him? Is that him? It's gotta be, that's Tom Cruise. Wait, that's another Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise!
Here's the plan.
The order.
Me and all my stunt doubles leave at the same time. It's like that, dang it, I don't know the technical term, but they use that plot in one of the Harry Potter movies, where the concept is like, oh, we just make everyone look like the target, and then they all leave at the same time, and so it's like a game of Medic.
Clever.
Have you ever played Medic? Any of you played
No.
Medic back in school?
Nah.
No.
I don't know if this is how you're like allowed or supposed to play the game, but in Medic it's like dodgeball, and if you're hit, then the medic can tag you and tag you back in. So ideally, you're supposed to hit the medic, and ideally, or the enemy team is supposed to hit your medic. You're supposed to hit their medic. And at some point, the team I was on got pretty clever, and we're like, well, why don't we just like we don't have as long as our actual medic is tagging the person in, it goes with the rules. So we can have like 5 people tagging in the person, and they don't know who our medic is.
Right.
They have to just figure it out through process of elimination. But like that buys us time, and it's a good strategy.
Clever.
Yeah, it was really neat. There's a good farm going. I like the fence work. I assume that Lady and Associates worked on that because it wasn't my doing.
That was me.
Yeah, and there's like this area back here, and there's the chickens.
Yeah, I put an extra enclosure so they wouldn't eat all the grass, but if we needed extra grass, then...
If I chop this, I'm worried that it'll fall to the left, but I can't get further to the side of it. Are we chopping at the same time? Do we chop at double speed?
Apparently.
That's pretty cool.
Chop, chop, chop.
I love how the right-click glitch is still in Left 4 Dead 2.
The what village?
In Left 4 Dead 2, there is a glitch. I don't know the technical, like the fandom term for it, but I call it the right-click glitch, where if you're downed, if you hold right-click while shooting, your gun is silent, not suppressed, not like pew, as in it just doesn't make sound, and it does slightly higher damage. And I don't know the actual code reason for this, just that it's still in the game, and I like that it's in the game because it's like because the game was like recently updated, and at this point I have to assume that after this much time it's still in the game as like a fun little thing you can do to survive, because you can't game it's not like you can like game the system by right-click shooting, because you can only do it when you're down. So it's more like a mitigator for when you've messed up.
Right. That's neat.
Georgia Cola.
Joja's Bizarre Cola.
You have to imagine there's like some kind of
Taylor.
Yeah.
Joja's Bizarre
JoJo's
Cola.
Bizarre Adventure.
JoJo's Bizarre Cola.
Bizarre Business Venture. You have to assume that there was a lot of like legal and paralegal like shenanigans and like background dealings behind Coca-Cola, because they're like, hey, we're gonna make a drink that's made with like coca leaves, and then eventually like cocaine is legalized, and they're like, hey, we can still make the drink, right? And the government's like, you're only using it for making cola flavor, right? Like you're not like making any drugs. And they're like, no, definitely not making any drugs.
Right.
You have to assume that either there's a ton of oversight to make sure that they're not using it for drugs, or there just isn't, and like at least a handful of like coca leaves just end up becoming cocaine.
You know that Joja Cola is really upset that they can't put drugs in their drinks anymore, because that would make people way addicted to it. They're like, oh, we can't make them forcibly reliant on our products so that they have to keep giving us money.
It is wild that like a lot of the substances that like we all know, not only like know about and are illegal and stuff, like so many of them just were basically legal, just harder to get in like various eras.
Right.
It's like I'm trying to remember. I think it was like meth or cocaine or something that was in various in like World War II. It was in like the rations for like German soldiers.
Oh yeah.
I think they even reference it in one of the like dream sequences of Archer, where what's his name
Probably.
just like where what's his name he keeps Schutz. I think it was Fuchs. His name was Fuchs because haha funny. But like he was like he had like cracked open. I think it's supposed to be like the Cold War or the interwar period or something, and he cracks open some old rations. Is like, ooh, this makes me feel amazing, and like that's his like descent into madness as a villain. Or by the end, he's like in a mech suit and he's like completely coked out.
Oh Jesus. That escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Fish, 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 selling all the fish, selling all the diarrhea fish.
Did you say diarrhea fish?
Yeah.
You could have a dire version of all sorts of creatures. A dire ostrich, dire emu, a diarrhea.
The diarrhea.
A rhea is a large flightless bird, so like it actually does work as a pun.
That's unfortunate.
I've been watching a lot of The Great North recently, which is I describe as a Bob's Burgers alike.
Yeah.
And they have the same type of like intro gag. Just like how Bob's Burgers always has the business next door that like has a funny name and an exterminator that has a funny name. In the Great North, they always have a boat with like a fish pun, and what's his name? Wolf will be wearing a shirt that usually has some kind of fart joke.
Ah, that's awesome. Speaking of mythical dire creatures, Em and I finally beat The Witcher, the first Witcher game, the very first Witcher game. Em and I played through and beat the very first Witcher game.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
But it's
Wait! You said the
Yeah.
first Witcher game.
The first Witcher game.
That classic. I didn't get through all of the original Witcher, but suffice to say, like a zillion years ago, I was like, oh, I want to get into The Witcher, but you know, I'm gonna do it like Lujek would, and I'm gonna start in the first game. You know, the one that's like ancient that I need like an emulator to run.
Yeah, and see, it's more believable for you to do it with The Witcher because there's only 3 Witcher games. It's not like Assassin's Creed where you'd have to be as insane as I am to be like, yes, I will marathon this from the beginning even though I've already played like most of these games already.
Yeah, see that way lies madness.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi is very good, and I have played it twice at this point. But come on.
What'd you say? Hold on. What'd you say?
I was wondering if anybody knows where Harvey goes at this time.
I do not know. I don't even know who Harvey is. I'm gonna be real with you.
The doctor, and because his room is like upstairs from his like abode, from his like workplace, you don't even get to see it. That's why I was like, oh man, I should become friends with Harvey just so I can figure out what his room looks like.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't remember most of the names in this game.
That's fair. Harvey's the one with the like a mustache and the glasses, and I don't remember. What are you doing? Am I lagging out, or are you like Blair Witching at the door right now?
I'm just gonna stand at his door until he appears.
Okay.
Just gonna.
That he wasn't home, so I would run into him.
What if that was like a mechanic in this game where there's like the boombox? Hold this outside someone's door to annoy them until they come out.
It's like in Skyrim where you just kind of sit down for a bunch of hours, which is even worse than Metal Gear Solid 5 because at least in Metal Gear Solid 5 you're like getting high while you wait. In Skyrim you're literally just like, I will meditate here for 6 hours and do nothing
see, now
else.
that's the question: is that Link from both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, like when he passes the time, like does he like take a potion like The Witcher to pass time? Does he like get really high to pass time? Is he just like Agent 47 where he doesn't rest, he just waits? I love that as a quirk of 47 where it's like, oh, we need this will happen in like 3 hours, and he'll just wait. He's
Yep.
very patient. That's
Yep.
one of his key traits.
That's what makes him such a good assassin. And yeah, you might think, hey, wouldn't people recognize the barcode tattoo on the back of your head? And you'd be right. If anybody fucking knew he knew who he was, like, nobody know who he is. Even if you recognize the tattoo, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's that assassin guy. You'd be like, oh, I saw that tattoo before. That's interesting.
Yeah, dear Diana Burnwood, who's the best assassin that you have on the payroll? We don't know, and we don't know, and that's what makes him the best assassin on our payroll.
Ask a hitman. I am Hitman. You are Hitman.
Thank you for that.
She is Hitman too.
I thought of that joke recently. You know, there's those videos that are like, like a plumber reacts to this plumbing issue. The mechanics react to TikTok mechanic advice, that sort of thing. Foreigner mobster reacts to like mafia movies, that sort of thing.
Right.
But like, I think I just told this joke like a few streams back, but like it really gets me. Where it's like a video game player reacts to video game, and like it's someone playing the game, and they're sitting there like, all right, see this here is called a cutscene. It's how it gives you like information on the characters, and they can give special animations that like let you read them more as a character. Like they're just explaining like very basic concepts.
They just get really technical about it, but in like the most everybody knows way possible.
And like part of it seems like it's sarcastic, but part of it is like genuinely useful. Where it's like, okay, so you see how Link is on the boat right? You see how Link is on the boat right now? This is actually a way that they can hide loading screens because it takes you a minimum amount of time to get from one island to the other.
See, now that I know that, I can't go through any kind of like Uncharted crack wall thing without being like, oh, I know they're just using this to mask a loading time.
Oh, like I love that. I hope that we get to a point where we can just parody that. You know?
Oh yeah.
Look, I found the way through. It's about one loading screen long.
It's about one loading screen long. All right, well, we should wrap up here.
That's I mentioned that before, but that's one of the things I tell myself that calm me down when I'm like, I'll be watching something really spooky or playing something spooky, is that I'll be going into a dark spooky hole and I just imagine some other like one of the guys from Metro going, Artyom, look, this is the mine where we started the jump scares during the war. I bet there are still a few fresh ones in here.
I bet that's still good. Oh wait, which Metro game was that? Because I think one of them was given away on
Artyom is in all the Metro games, if last I checked.
Oh, okay.
But as far as other characters, I think they're supporting characters. And honestly, I actually didn't play the original Metro. I played Last Light, and then I played Exodus. And I gotta say, like, Metro Last Light is on my list of on my short list of like I keep forgetting to add it to lists that of games that I think are really good, but specifically Last Light was really good in the sense that like its level designs and like environmental storytelling is really solid. Like you just see kind of people like in the underground just going about their business, and it just feels like actual people.
Environmental storytelling is so weird for me, and I've realizing that more and more as I play Hollow Knight, because I will like look at a plaque of a character like, here is a statue of Hegemol, he was a big deal, and I'm like, okay, and I'll immediately forget his name, and then I'll like get and then the further I get in Hollow Knight, the more interested I get in the world building, and then I go and look up all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, Hegemol, he was one of the 5 Great Knights, he was a part of a group called the 5 Great Knights, oh, the False Knight, that's why he's called the False Knight, he's pretending to be Hegemol, this actually connected in a big way, and it's just random shit like that. Like, I'm so ADHD that, like, environmental storytelling, like, there has to be something that hooks me. Like, if you get one thing in a rich lore-building world to hook me, I will go through a fucking rabbit hole of obsessive research for, like, days on end.
Rabbit hole of excessive research, what was that video you wanted me to see?
Oh,
was
it was a fucking Evil Dead. I'll
Evil
send
Dead.
it to you. Yeah. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching our stream. I've been Lujack,
I'm Taylor.
Nah, been him.
and I'm reminding you to take care.
Stay awesome.
Stay hydrated.
And
Dude.
try to keep your retrospectives to like 1 hour each. Like if it has more content than that, just make part 2, part 3.
Well,
make
yeah.
part 5.
Yeah, but then you
Sometimes
have
part 2s are acceptable.
I know that the watch time is what's valued currently on YouTube, and it is very funny to have like a 6-hour video, but like the comment section is useless. You can't be like, oh, I like this part in this video because like the video's 5 hours long.
Here's the thing, though. I agree with you to a point. Yes,
It's like
make
having a comment
multi-part
section for,
videos.
like, an entire
but-
season of a TV show.
Yeah. Have multi-part videos, but then mash them all together into one video because I actually
Like
enjoy
later?
5-hour-long videos for some reason. I don't know why.
5-hour long video retrospective at Freddy's.
Yeah, I would.
They should call it that if someone does
uh,
5-hour video retrospective at Freddy.
5 hours at Freddy's. Oh
It's
my god.
actually no, it's actually like 6 hours, and so like, and every time like
Well, no,
an
it's
hour
7
goes
hours.
by,
Like.
in
See,
the video, like it plays the little like 1 a.m. like it plays a different.
well, no.
literally
See, Taylor, it's actually 7 hours long, but the last 2 hours are like special secret bonus like things that you have to unlock by following like a series of, I don't know, weird YouTube thumbnail clicking shit. I don't know.
I didn't think of that.
You have to click on like a
Is it-
trail of thumbnails that'll lead you to the 6th hour, and then another trail of thumbnails that will lead you to a 7th.
No, you're thinking of the day system. I'm talking about how like we're at a point where you could make like if you start at midnight and in Five Nights at Freddy's, if you start at midnight and then at 6 a.m., then that's 6 hours. You could do theoretically, if you could stretch that out enough and had enough content to cover, you could make a 6-hour long Five Nights at Freddy's video called like 6 hours at 5 hours at Five Nights at Freddy's retrospective or whatever, and make it that every time an hour passes, it plays like the little like hour like gauge thing, like
Oh,
switching
yeah.
the time.
Yeah,
Like, it's actually-
yay! Like the cheering kids.
It's like, oh, just finished this retrospective, and it's like I just
Dun,
finished an
dun.
entire shift at a job. So much.
Dun.
Stop making your retrospective so long. You can put them in one video when they're all done, but please. I like a crisp comment section where I can be like, I like that part. That was 45 minutes in. Otherwise, it's such a mess. All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, yeah. See y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.